we've landed in Cali and we're headed to the Cacao region, which is another hot combat zone in the south of the country. We're joining an elite group of the Colombian army as they clear mines and then advance onto the guerrilla.
La zona donde vamos es una zona donde permanecen 3 grupos de guerrillas y todos muy bien entrenados. Hay combates todos los días. Ponen minas, ponen trampas para que las tropas siempre caigan en ellas. Y el secuestro, ¿no? Aquí secuestran, es una zona de secuestro. Es muy peligroso, es muy peligroso. Dangerous.
So right now we're headed out to an area that the military thinks is secure. It's about a kilometer from their base. And after that area is secured, that's when a landmine clearing team will come in. Yesterday, there was combat between soldiers from this base and the guerrilla. They were able to capture 1 guerrilla member, so they kind of won the skirmish, but they're not sure what still lies here, so we're kind of being very careful.
¿Listos? Uno!
FARC wasn't always such a scourge on the country's poor, and they weren't always the only ones using landmines. The Colombian army used them too, until 1997, when the country became a signatory to the Ottawa Treaty, an international agreement that bans the use of anti-personnel mines. But planting landmines is a tempting tactic because it's so cheap and so effective in protecting strategic territory. FARC has tried turning to politics, but their candidates kept getting assassinated, so they went right back to jungle warfare. They even tried talking peace before, at the height of their powers in the late 90s, but that fell apart when the government got funding from the US to take down FARC under the banner of the war on drugs. After 9/11, US aid continued as part of the war on terror. But ultimately, FARC has become one of the most organized and ruthless cartels in the world.
At the beginning, FARC can be called the last communist guerrilla. But right now, we have to recognize that there is not like an ideological war in Colombia. No more.
Las FARC perdieron su ideología a partir de que se metieron con el narcotráfico. A partir de los años 80 iniciaron el trabajo delictivo con los cultivos ilícitos, el manejo de la coca, la marihuana, y son los grandes narcotraficantes del mundo.
At its height, FARC raked in as much as $1 billion a year from drugs. And they've never been shy about controlling their trade through murder and extortion, and using landmines to protect their coca fields.
Bueno, mi accidente fue por causa de un campo minado instalado por las FARC. La misión que yo estaba realizando en ese momento con el personal de soldados que llevaba a mi mando era de control, registro y control de área. En este sector hay mucho cultivo ilícito de cocaína de ese campo minado. Acercándome a un campamento de la guerrilla en donde tenía mucha cocaína, instalaron muchas minas y en esa semana fuimos 5 los lesionados, incluyéndome en campos minados. Ya mi pierna no me la devuelven. Caminaré con mi prótesis, pero no seré la persona que fui cuando nací.
After securing the area near their base, the army wanted to show us their big guns. So it looks like we're about to go fire some heavy artillery at FARC just outside of soccer practice.
¡Fuego!
We spoke to the colonel in charge. And how often do you fire at them?
1 week, 2 weeks, or daily. Depend the situation.
And do you know if there are any civilian towns or villages near it?
No, only FARC. No citizen, no city, no schools.
But there's soccer practices happening right there, right? So what if they come and hit back? You're so close to the children.
No, because different, you know, it's always 7 kilometers from here, so it's a big range according to the mountains.
So the FARC doesn't have this kind of range on their artillery?
No, they don't.
Combat is commonplace for Colombians in the south, and as the war continues at its turgid pace, life moves around it. Unless, of course, it's disrupted by one false step. Next, the military had us hike up to a strategic position atop a mountain near a town named Guatemala, where FARC is known to plant mines. To maintain their control of the mountain, they patrol daily, and each time they have to check for mines. It's a slow, and as we learned, kind of goofy task.
Entonces vamos a dar 2 procedimientos. El primero lo vamos a hacer aquí,
Venga, tenga la ametralladora hacia allá. Y la que subía conmigo con porras tiene que estar cubriendo ese cerro de allá.
Today, every day, we had to come here to secure this point because the enemy can be here anytime. So we had to do this procedure every single day.
The procedure starts when one soldier tosses a metal orb on a string to set off any tripwires. After that, they send in a dog to sniff for plastic explosives. Then comes a pretty basic metal detector, and that's about it.
Pienso que la fortaleza de las FARC son las minas antipersonales, no tienen más, no tienen la capacidad de hacer un enfrentamiento como pasaba anteriormente hace unos 10, 15 años cuando las FARC enfrentaban al ejército de tú a tú. Ahora lo hacen es con las minas y los explosivos. Tienen que tener una malicia indígena para buscarlos y encontrarlos. Retrasan el avance ofensivo de las tropas. Por eso en muchas áreas el avance es muy despacio, muy tranquilo, muy calculado para evitar tener muertos y mutilados.
This moment the detector is not good because in the past we have had combats here, so there's a pieces of metal like with their bullets, the rounds. So the detector is detecting that metal. So they're giving us fake signals.
Right.
So now for this, no way, we had to trust with the search that the duck did and the search with the rope. The most important for us is to keep the security of our men. And so we had to be sure, completely sure there is nothing to be worried about. And it's essential, it's elemental to do this. We cannot go through without making the search.
Their demining procedure didn't exactly inspire much confidence. But we got a glimpse of how 7,000 rebels can hold off over 300,000 soldiers by slowing them down and making them unsure of every step they take. There are still countless landmines buried across Colombia. FARC wants to demobilize and join Colombia's political system, and to do so they'll likely have to find and destroy the landmines they've planted. But until the narco trade is somehow shut down, conflict will continue, because the expertise of guerrilla combat will move from FARC to whatever strong-arm militia takes over the trade. But the people of Colombia are resilient, and life, even if fraught with danger, goes on as it has for decades.
Tenerte en mis brazos, decirte te quiero que me estoy muriendo, alma mía por ti si yo te siento cuando llega la tarde, te lloro cuando llega la noche, te siento sonreír a cada instante, solo consigo soñarte, solo contigo soy feliz. Lourdes Quisinares y Yole Peralta.